Hello, everyone. Welcome back to A Cup of Coffee, the show to go with your morning cup of coffee. I'm Omar, returning once again with my co-host Amar.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So, Omar, after many weeks of not having recorded, what's been on your mind? Well, since the last
Oh,
episode.
well, I went through finals week. I'm not sure how I survived, or if I really did. I'm not sure if I'm still alive, but I went through that. It was, incredibly traumatic.
Yeah,
As I'm sure yours was as well.
yeah,
And I've just missed doing this. It's nice to have it back.
definitely is. I would agree. And finals week is it's different every year, but there's always that same at least they'll probably get a lot of gaming in next week. There's always that nice feeling.
Yeah, it's always nice. You just have to go through this flaming tornado, and on the other side is the Daisy Field. It's nice, comfortable.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like you get to there's like a couple of days where you just gotta like stretch it out, and then once you reach the other side, there's like this bliss for like a day or two where you're like it's break, and you get to like sleep and actually enjoy it, and it feels good once it's all finally over. I guess you can't have the light without the dark, right?
I mean, it's like the Wizard of Oz. Most of the semester is just kind of boring. It's like Kansas. It's like Kansas. Kind of boring and
Yeah,
not great. And then you go through that tornado. It's incredibly dramatic. Things are flying everywhere. Uh, your house is just spun in different directions. And then on the other side, there's this magical world
that
that
is
is
winter
the break.
break. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
we got any plans for winter break?
Uh, Not that I can recall at the moment, but it could
Yeah,
be the trauma.
maybe possible.
But
We'll look
yeah,
forward to it.
my current plans are to not have any plans, which I think is a pretty good plan.
Always fun, man. I've got two things, man. I've got my brother and his wife coming in, and then I've got a lot of CD Project Red games to play. Well, two mainly, but like just playing them a lot because I think I'm gonna get Cyberpunk pretty soon after it comes out. It looks
I think I'll wait
really
until
good.
they patch it because apparently it's a little bit buggy right now. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
but
think I'll wait
I'll play it
until
once
that one's
now,
patched.
and then
Yeah.
I'll play it again when it's when it's fixed. Like it just looks
Or
so. I'm gonna finish The Witch. I don't know. I could finish The Witcher this week, and then play Cyberpunk. That'd probably be because I finally like don't have classes now. I could just play The Witcher every day now. It's I told you, man. It's that bliss after it's a beautiful world that we live in now.
yeah,
But yeah, how did
hope-
you finals week go?
it was. I had a whole bunch of them all together. Not because they had to be. It's just I procrastinated on all of them until the last possible moment. And so,
Of
you
course.
know, finals Fridays, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
and then a paper due Monday because of how late I left it.
Nice.
And I sent you how much caffeine I drank to finish that paper yesterday. It was like
He
two
sent a
cans,
picture, and
two to go cups, and one cup like this.
yeah, I'll attach the picture for anyone listening to this on YouTube. It is insane how much caffeine this man had. I was worried for his well being.
Yeah,
And
it was like that scene in Spider-Verse where Miles notices that he has a thought bubble.
yeah,
Yeah, it was like that. Like I could just see sounds.
yeah, it's crazy when you have that much caffeine because it doesn't actually give you energy. It just takes away
So,
the part of your brain that tells you you're tired. So
see, I've compared it to like it's like you're constantly sacrificing HP for an MP boost, and you're just using that MP boost on like an enhancing spell that doesn't seem to work. It's
Mhm.
like it's like it's like in Pokemon if you just kept sacrificing HP to use Splash over and over. You're not doing anything to help yourself. You're just giving yourself the illusion that you are.
Yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
probably a good example. I mean, for me, finals week was like, as a business major, things aren't always that bad. Uh, but there were like some classes that I like actually had to worry about because of honor walk. But most of it was pretty straightforward. It was like this one class that I like BS'd some of the assignments and managed to do good on those, even though that I BS'd those. So that was I was grateful for that. But overall,
Life is a business matrix, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, this is what it's like. Yeah, I finished uploading a game to the Play Store in my time
Oh,
during
really?
finals week. Yeah, I did.
Oh, you're done with that?
I did that. It's not. It's very much like Cyberpunk. It is very buggy and so buggy to the point that it's unplayable. So I have to fix it. Right now, it doesn't fit on like phones. It's like set on being a certain aspect ratio, so it doesn't fit on anyone. Like if you like open it up on your phone, unless your phone is perfect 16:9 aspect ratio, it's not gonna work on your phone, and it doesn't automatically turn your phone horizontal. So I gotta fix those things, and then the icon doesn't show up on your home screen. It just shows like the Unity logo. So I gotta put like my icon, which is very, very, very basic icon. Um, so I got to do those couple of things before I can start sending it to people. But I did that, and then I put basically like the game itself is pretty much done. It's like a super basic concept. I had time to do that during finals week, so life as
Right.
a
Well,
business major.
we'll eventually. Yeah. So we'll eventually link that in the description when it's ready.
Probably next time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess moving on to stuff that's more topical for our guest and just for campus in general.
Of course.
Um, let's see. What should we talk about? Oh, yeah. This is one I thought was fun. If you could rename the podcast after another food or beverage, what would you pick?
So we've talked about this. Like we haven't like talked about it specifically, but we've joked about the podcast under this other name. I think beverages just work. Like
Yeah, beverages are, you know, because you can quickly take a sip of a beverage when you're
yeah,
doing a podcast. You can't really have a bag of chips with over
yeah.
them on it because you just like,
Or imagine a bowl of ramen with Omer and Amon. That would be like
it just
that wouldn't be bad, but it would just be like a bunch of
it'd
slurping.
just be a it'd just be a slurping for
Yeah,
an hour. It's just slurping ASMR.
yeah, exactly. That would be so bad. Um, I think I feel like a lot of beverages would work. Coffee is just elegant in and of itself, but boba is fun.
Yeah,
So we've talked about a cup of boba with Omer and Amon, so that would be a fun one. I think tea is just like it just works like coffee. So
it's like coffee's gentler counterpart. Like coffee's like the storm, and tea's like the gentle cloud.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, if there was a dang, actually, I don't know about this. If there was a food, I would think like ice cream would be good because it's fun, but it would melt is the problem. Like, see, we would have to eat it fast, and we can't we wouldn't be talking for the first like 10 minutes. We would just be making sure that we finished our ice cream before it melted, and it would just be like half us talking, half us eating, and we would have to like time it so perfectly that each of us would get enough time to talk and enough time to eat our ice cream, but not so much time to eat our ice cream that we get brain freeze. And we'd have to make sure that we finished it within the first 5 to 10 minutes so that the ice cream didn't melt. It would be a little too complicated with ice cream.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there'd be too many steps involved. I think
Yeah,
at some point one or both of us would mess up. Just
probably.
like I have ice cream everywhere. I don't know what went wrong.
Yeah, so I think boba would probably make the most sense, or horchata. That stuff is good, man. I don't know why I thought of it, but it's so like it's just so good, man. So there's those two, and yeah, just like fun drinks, I guess. Like coffee's elegant, yeah, and you can have a nice background and nice intro, and cool mugs to go with it. Um, but just those drinks would be fun. What would you do?
I think boba as well, just because it has that it has that fun sort of modern aspect to it. Coffee just feels like this sort of elegant, old-fashioned feel, especially because we're doing hot coffee.
Yeah,
But like,
and a cup of iced
I wouldn't
coffee.
be opposed to, changing the logo to an iced coffee,
Yeah,
uh, with similar logo motifs.
actually,
But yeah,
I
that's
believe our intro has iced coffee.
oh yeah, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
thank you, stock videos.
Yeah, so iced coffee or boba, just because besides coffee and occasionally tea, I'm usually more of a cold drinks guy.
Yeah,
So yeah, and cold drinks are fun. Fast paced. I guess hot coffee's a bit slower, more contemplative,
yeah,
which I guess suits a podcast more.
yeah,
But like, if we did a quick show, like a 15-minute podcast, a spin, if we did like a spin off that was like
definitely.
15 minutes, that's what I would call it, a cup of iced coffee. Or
Or
a
a
cup of coffee and just iced coffee, or a cup of boba.
yeah, or a cup of a frappuccino, man. Imagine that's fast paced right there. We would just be oh yeah, we would just be like those freaking the CX debaters that are just constantly spreading, just talking super fast. So, what's on your mind today? Well, man, it would just be going so fast. It would be so bad.
It's just at the end, both of us just have a caffeine crash, or just like,
At the end of the
uh,
episode.
hello everyone, and have a great evening.
Love everyone. Just go home, please. Stop. And I would just have the fattest nap after this.
A hangover with a word on.
That would be the sequel to that spinoff. But on the subject of food and beverages, while we're talking about it, what is your favorite dessert?
Um, Cheesecake. Yeah, cheesecake's a solid one.
That's so
I
solid,
would like
dude. I
cheesecake.
love cheesecake. It's so like perfect. You know, it's just it's so because okay, like the variety of cheesecakes that you can have at the Cheesecake Factory is incredible. Like the do you like chocolate cheesecake?
Ah, I dabble in it. It's chocolate cheesecake is something good to have like once a year.
Yeah.
Most because if you have it more than that, it'll probably cut your lifespan in half. But
Yeah. I think there's like that one cheesecake that you can have every single, like once a year. And if you're having it more than a year, dude, I'm proud of you. Like that I don't have the balls to do that. That's very like these things are like very, very filling. And I I had love this Snickers cheesecake. Okay, there's like two. So there's like a Snickers cheesecake the Cheesecake Factory has, but it's not always there. And then there's the 30th anniversary one, which my mom always loved, and then I tried it. And then cookies and cream, yeah, they're all just really good. Actually, now that I think about it. So yeah, cheesecake.
cheesecake factory is nice. But like something else that's great is like those New York cheesecakes that come in a suspicious looking cardboard box.
Oh yeah,
Oh, and you just open it. And it's just the most amazing New York cheesecake. I think food in general a lot of times food in general from shady looking places is just great.
yeah.
Like especially if you go to like Pakistan or something, like the
Oh
shadiest looking spot will have just
yeah.
the absolute best food. Like it'll probably burn a hole through your stomach, but it'll be worth it.
Oh, 100%. The shady places, like especially in Pakistan, where you get those like the chai and the roti and all that, and like I remember my dad would tell me stories where they would go to restaurants late at night, and so some of the restaurants would give you. God, I actually don't know how to explain this if you've never had nihari before. Um, how do you explain nihari to someone who's never had nihari?
It's like I guess it's kind of like a curry. Um,
Yeah,
but it's like usually in a curry it's a bit thicker, and you expect to have like some bone in meat here and there, right? It's just
yeah,
it's just meat and like a lot of the curry, and it's a bit thinner.
Yeah. So basically that. But imagine like you're at a restaurant in Pakistan, and so you're just there with your friends. And so my dad would do this, and so they would eat their nihari with the bread, and but you could get the gravy, the curry part of it, for free. Like you could have them like put in more of it for free, and so they would just put more of that in there and keep ordering the naan, the bread to eat it with, and then they would just like keep going all night. Like they would just do that until they were like full, and they would play cards. And I was like, dude, that sounds like so much fun.
That sounds like amazing.
That sounds like the life. So, oh, but back to dessert actually. Yeah, those like those like strange, small ghetto restaurants are always really nice. I've had one in Chicago that was Stacy and it was really good. Um, but my favorite dessert, dude. Now that you've said cheesecake, you kind of got me in the mood. Um, I'm honestly like not picky at all, which is a huge problem because I like everything. But it's good because I like it's a double edged sword. It means like you're never not going to enjoy something, which is dope because you're always going to be having a good time. But it also sucks because you have absolutely zero taste and no one's ever going to trust what you say because you like everything. So if you tell
It's,
someone like, dude, this
it's also
is
a problem when yeah, it's also a problem for me when because I pretty much like everything. So
yeah.
like when someone gives me a menu, I'm just like, there's so many choices.
Yeah, it's so like the problem with
It's
the dilemma
possible.
of choice. It's like, what do I get, dude? There's so many options, so many good things here, and yeah, like I'm the least trustworthy person when it comes to recommendations about anything because I love everything. Like I'm always down to try some, and I always like tell people like, because you're my food guy, like whenever I'm like, I need a restaurant or something, dude. Whenever I, for those of you that don't know, whenever I have a cheat day or something, I don't know what to eat. I'm just like, Omer, please tell me where should I go? And then he'll give me like a recommendation. This last week it was a wave bowl and it was perfect. So
Did you try the beef bowl?
I got the hibachi fried rice beef bowl. Yeah, it was dope. Yeah, my mom got the chicken one, and then my dad got the Mongolian beef. And man, it's so good, it's so good.
I really like the to-go boxes they give as well.
Yeah, it's so
Really
perfect. It's a really good size too. I actually got 2 meals out of it, so that was dope. But yeah, I mean, just like I tell everyone that like you're my food guy and everything, and that like we've gone out to like random like try random different things, and it's like because we like pretty much everything, like we're open to new choices and stuff. So it's really dope
yeah,
because you get to try a lot of new
like
things.
exactly because trying out new things are fun because there's that element of risk. It's like that, like why people go like skiing or snowboarding. The adrenaline.
Yeah,
It's a similar sensation when you just try a place that you've never seen before. Because like we were in Dallas, right? We tried this
no,
Jamaican place, and
Caribbean,
it was just
right? It was Jamaican specifically.
it was Jamaican. I think it might have been Jamaican,
Okay,
or maybe it was general Caribbean.
yeah,
But like we tried it, and it had good reviews and everything. And I don't know if we were just Caribbean food is just not for us or something, but we
yeah,
just did not enjoy
just
it. Like
wasn't a
after,
good
like
time.
initially we liked it the first couple bites, but that's probably because we've been walking around the sun for like 5 hours, so
Yeah,
probably borderline heat stroke at that point.
yeah.
Uh, and then we're just like, yeah, I didn't enjoy it. But then
But then
we
Emporium
went to
Pies
Phuong, and
saved the day.
it
It was so
just
good, man. And then the second time that we had it, it was somehow better. Like the pies. Oh my goodness. The first time, like I had like the apple pie that was just really good, and then I remember it was called Lord of the Pies. And then the second time we had this coconut one that we shared, and Fies was there too. And then oh my god, man, it was just that was like the best pie I've ever had. That coconut pie, I'll never forget that.
just overall just amazing.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, well, I think it's time we wrap things up. For our segment, we're gonna have a foodie on as our guest today. It's gonna be amazing,
Yes, sir.
and yeah, she'll be on shortly. Cue transition. we're back, everyone, with our very special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Phuong from Foodies. So I have a food Instagram where I review food in like restaurant around the DFW area. And my main interest is food. I also am a student at UTD. I'm a junior right now studying in marketing. I'm gonna be talking with you today.
All right.
Excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being on. Yeah, so let's just, I guess, start off with, well, what inspired you to start your foodie Instagram?
So it's actually started as a fun bet with my friend. So we were just hanging out at his dorm one day, and my friend and I have like a bet, like, hey, what if we start a food Instagram and like by the end of the year, whoever have more follower will win. And he ended up losing and have to buy me dinner, but I kept going with it, and that's where it went today.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
wow. So
interesting. Started with
it's
that.
just a bet, and you have one of the best food Instagrams around.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank
yeah,
you so
so
much.
yeah, it's awesome to hear that it just started off as just a bet. Um, I guess I imagine maintaining that because as a foodie you have to post regularly to keep up engagement with followers and make sure that new followers are coming in and stuff like that. So how do you maintain doing all that? Because I know you have to edit the pictures, take them, go to the food places as well. So how do you know maintain that while also being productive as a student and doing all of your other responsibilities?
So, first of all, I truly do have like a really deep passion with like food and everything like that. So like ever since I was little, like food always excited me. So having a food Instagram is already going to like all these food places with my friend, like might as well take picture of it. Like that's how it started in the first place. And now since it's have gotten bigger, um with COVID and everything too, just go out on the weekend. So I would, for a whole week, I would study, right?
Mhm.
Because I still have school and I'm still a student.
Yeah.
And like I would go with all the restaurant in one day or like have a list of restaurants that I want to go to. Okay, and then I would just go with my friend and like take all the content that I need. And,
Mhm.
and I would go back home, like either write all the captions in one day, edit all the picture and everything like that. And then now I'm using this tool called Facebook Creator Studio. And it's like built in with Facebook too. So basically you would write all the content you need and then you upload all the picture and then you schedule for like a certain day at a certain time
Oh,
they would
okay.
post for you.
All right.
So, and I found that that's really helped me with staying consistent
Yeah.
um, throughout
Mhm.
that I have my Instagram. Because like before, like feel super motivated for one week and post a bunch of picture,
Yeah.
and then the other week I'd be like, oh my god, I have school and stuff like that.
Okay. So
All
that helps
right.
you stay consistent with your posting. That's nice.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I think it
So,
comes down to like having a system, I guess.
Yeah,
That's the key to be consistent and like keep going.
definitely. Yeah.
Pushing.
And you've been doing it
mhm.
for a while now, so you've probably
Mhm.
gotten a solid system down. What when you're like finding a restaurant that do you like have a certain way that you go about like picking the place, or do you just like find out about it? Do you have like a list of places that are up next for you?
Definitely do. Okay,
Okay.
so what is really cool about the food Instagram community is it's like a whole community, right?
Right.
So when you have like I guess Instagram, you would find other people in the area that also have like Instagram and
Okay.
everything like that.
Mhm.
And so when you follow around that community, like one, can support each other, and two, you can find like really cool places
Oh,
never like been to. And then when I see those places on Instagram, like go through another process to ensure that like the restaurant is actually good and
yeah.
not just like a hype. So I
Right.
would like see if other food blogger or like people have posted about it. I would check on Yelp,
Mm,
their Instagram. I ask around and everything like that. Um, just to ensure that do take the time to go there and like try their food,
yeah.
like commend it to my followers. It has to be good.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
Um, and then I also trust my friends a lot. I also ask I guess my follower community a lot, um, just for their recommendations because they're also my friend and like they also have a lot of cool recommendation that I don't know of.
Yeah. You you seem like the kind of person. I mean, if you do have a food restaurant or a food Instagram, that you'd like to try a lot of new things, and that would definitely work out with a food Instagram. Is there like, what was your most like interesting experience at a restaurant though? Like, what was maybe like the weirdest food that you've tried, or the
Or maybe like the restaurant was just really quirky or something.
yeah.
I try weird food.
All
I
right.
just because like I want to go beyond my comfort zone and like try food like other cultures eating.
Yeah.
So this was way before I have a food Instagram or anything
Really.
like that.
Mm.
Like I started this my freshman year in college, and then it just recently blew up with like COVID because I have more time and like would be more consistent.
Yeah.
But
Don't we all?
Yeah.
but like I guess I went to Cambodia. Well, I'm gonna answer this in a different way. Is that okay?
That's cool.
I'm gonna
Okay.
tell you about like my most interesting experience, I guess.
Yeah. Sure.
I was traveling to Cambodia and like they were having fighters on the street selling as street snacks. And like I in Asia, they just eat as the street food. So I was like, what if I try this? Huge
Mhm.
giant spider that like is around this size.
Oh God. I can't imagine eating a spider. You just saw that they had spiders and thought you should try that.
Well, the thing is, there were everywhere on like
Really?
um they were a really popular Cambodian street food, I guess. And like everyone was trying it. So I was like, might as well, because I'm already here.
Oh God.
That was
And
a very interesting experience.
Oh my God. How did it taste? What was the texture like? Is it like you would imagine an arachnid to like feel like? Any
Um,
details here?
God. So okay, I was okay with like trying, I guess, because it was like crispy, like sex or whatever.
Hmm.
And then I bite into the body, and it was like smushy, and I was like, nope, I am not having it. So
Uh,
I did
Was
not
it
finish
like
that thing.
takoyaki?
Oh no, that yeah, that was the most interesting thing that I've eaten.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good
I mean,
story to have.
But
it's definitely a great
that like
story to tell people at like parties and stuff.
Yeah, that
yeah,
you've eaten the spider, but I don't. Would you do it again?
I would not do it again.
Okay.
Um,
I
I
mean,
would definitely
you're
try
braver
other
than
stuff
both of
though.
us because I say I'll pretty much eat anything, but I
Yeah,
don't think I'm brave enough to eat a spider.
we actually just talked about the fact that we would eat pretty much anything, but I not clearly not anything. So
Yeah. Oh well. There are a lot of interesting things that people eat. And like you just have to respect their culture. And like you can try it, but don't
yeah,
affect them or anything like that.
Yeah, I
definitely.
mean it's it's not everything is for everyone. You just have to I said that some people apparently don't like chocolate.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a bad
Yeah.
example. You shouldn't respect people like that. But like, yeah, like different people have their preferences. Like we were talking earlier that we didn't really have a good experience with Caribbean food.
Yeah.
The place had great reviews, but it just didn't gel with us. So yeah, not everything works for everyone. That's what makes us also different and special. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think that
I
is
guess
also
go ahead.
the hard the things about like having a food Instagram that like everyone follow and like take your recommendation, right? Because honestly, everyone have a different reference.
Yeah.
Like I've never had anyone who say, "Oh, I don't like your recommendation," but like most of the time, it has been positive feedback. Like at one point, someone would not like it, um, and that's another thing about having a food Instagram too, or like anything that you have to give like recommendation to people.
Yeah. Definitely. It has to be a
Mm,
solid recommendation. And that's another thing that, I mean, when we talked about like liking pretty much everything, is that your recommendations aren't always, I mean, for you, I know you do your research and actually, have like a thorough process before selecting a restaurant. But if someone like me or Omer were to tell someone that a restaurant is good, then you can't necessarily always trust it because we eat everything. um, but yeah, I mean, you have an extensive process before you would recommend something to someone, and you have like some pretty awesome pictures of it, and a really cool Instagram. So
yeah, I think. Yeah. Were you gonna say something? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that like sometimes it feels unreal to me that like this many people want to see like what I eat next and stuff like that. Um, so it has been an interesting journey and process.
yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I imagine it definitely has, and I think like speaking of social media, your main platform is Instagram, right? And you use it to post, and Instagram it's in itself has tons of pros and cons. The cons being the algorithm's really weird at times and stuff like that. But like in general for social media, it's got a lot of benefits, but it's got a lot of downsides to it as well. Like it makes it easier for people to be toxic since they can hide behind you know, an, a relatively anonymous profile. So I think, what in your view are some of the pros and cons of social media? And do you think it's a bigger help than it is? Then do you think the pros outweigh the harms? Is what I'm saying. And what are some of the pros and cons in your opinion?
Since I'm a marketing major, I definitely think that social media has more pros and cons if you use it the right way. And especially is very powerful right now too with COVID and everything. We're moving into this new area where everyone has social media
Yeah,
essentially, like, and everyone is on social media every day, or most people are.
yeah,
The other people don't even have it, but it's fine. But a lot of people goes on social media for a lot of things, right? I think, especially right now with COVID, having a strong presence is really helpful for businesses and also for yourself. Because how you're gonna market yourself. Think about it. Every time want to get to know someone or like this restaurant or
yeah,
like this products or
Right.
this company, the first thing you always do is go online and like search
yeah,
what people are
Right.
saying about it, like what their social media looks like, and like ask your friend and family around. So I think social media can has a lot of pros. Like it helps you market your products, have people knows about you. It can create a community.
yeah,
People can support each other. recommendations, stuff like that. So in that sense, it is very helpful. But also, yes, it could be harmful at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
Because so many
Right.
people can just create any account and be like, I don't like you, or like,
Yeah.
I don't like this product,
Right.
whatever. So sometimes it could be, I guess, toxic or harmful to yourself too, because you can like consume so many bad news or content
Hmm.
from social media too.
Yeah. But at the same time,
Right.
like you said, the communities that are built and the food Instagram community that you were talking about, that sounded really cool. That there's a group of you that are able to give each other recommendations and stuff like that. I mean, you can't get that without social media, and you can't stay connected like that in a community, especially at a time like this where we can't even see each other in person. So that's incredible. It's nice.
Yeah, that has been really cool because like just having an Instagram where I share my love for food, I
Right.
have been able to have like so many great friendships and
Yeah.
just get to know people that I would not have otherwise.
Yeah.
So
Uh, Yeah. I think social media is, it's a tool. It's a responsibility. It How it's used it just depends on the person using it. You can use when used positively and used responsibly. It's an amazing tool. You can um, you can market yourself in ways that weren't really possible 50, 20, 30 years ago, right? Because you could just put a post online and it goes by chance it could go viral and suddenly everyone knows about your product.
Yeah.
uh, but you could also use it to be a jerk or spread fake news or stuff like that. So yeah, definitely it's a responsibility and tool that all of us can wield. Um, and it's up to us how we use it pretty much. But yeah, so I think a bit more shifting more towards the food side of it. What's your favorite spot in the world to travel to, food wise?
nice. It okay. Well, I haven't been to Europe yet, and that's on my bucket list. But Asia wise, because I do travel a lot in Asia, I would say either Thailand or Taiwan.
I've heard great
Or
things
two of
about
those
Thailand.
places.
Uh, yeah, you said yeah. If you go to Europe, I'd recommend the first place you go to be London, just because it's the food there is just so diverse. Like you can get good food from pretty much any cuisine you want. It's basically like what New York City is to the U.S. Like in New York, you can get among the best food in the world for pretty much any cuisine you can think of. London's
Yeah.
pretty much the British equivalent of that.
Amazing. Yes, I will put that on my list.
Awesome.
But yeah, um, Thailand or Taiwan. Taiwan has like really cool markets that you can just have like cheap food, but really good food.
Hmm.
Like all these coolest pastry ever too. So that is truly a foodie heaven. And then Thailand also have just a lot of good food there too. A lot of things to do.
Yeah, I'd
But yeah.
imagine. I need to travel around there, to Asia, and I guess
What about y'all?
Thailand, Thailand
What
and
about y'all?
Taiwan would be on the list. For me, dude, I don't know. Actually, Omar, you start because I don't know where I would go yet.
Uh, Favorite place to travel to food wise, probably London again because I just really had a good time there food wise because they have it's such a diverse city, and like there's really good food in every cuisine. Like the best Turkish food I've ever had was in London. It was at this kebab place. It's called Bosphorus, I think, and like they had pictures of all like the famous like soccer players that went there, um, like plastered on the wall, and I think they had like some. I think Lewis Hamilton was also there.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah, so it was pretty cool just seeing all those, all those really famous people just going to a regular old kebab shop, just because it's that good.
Yeah, I'd imagine. For me, probably the best place that I've been to eat is in Pakistan because I haven't really traveled outside of the U.S. very much, other than there. And yeah, I had some really good kebab over there, like bun kebab and bihari and so all that, and it was like some solid barbecue, and enjoyed that quite a bit. I'm not very cultured yet, so like you, I haven't been to Europe, but I also haven't traveled around Asia very much either. So, but that's good news because that means I have much left to try.
Mhm. There are a lot of time and a lot of places to go to.
Definitely. Um, what would you say? God, this is for a foodie. This is probably a tough question to. I mean, it's a tough question to answer for everyone. I don't know if you have like a set answer to this, but you can take your time to think about it. It's a very basic question, but not always the easiest to answer. What's your favorite food?
What about cuisine?
Sure, we can go
We
there.
Answer
can go
has to
there,
be
yeah.
food. um, Definitely Vietnamese food
Okay.
because just because like I grow up eating good like homemade Vietnamese food and
Mm,
also like so it has so many dishes that comfort me in so many ways, I guess.
mm,
Um, like there are tons of noodles, dishes, rice dishes, and just things like that for any situation. And
yeah.
there are also like a lot of street food selection and everything like that. So yeah, that is definitely one of my top choice.
All right.
Uh,
Solid.
Because like
yeah,
it is a lot more than just pho and like cơm tấm and bánh mì, you know. Um, I think whenever we try a new cuisine, we definitely would not know like what they eat
Yeah.
or like other dishes other than like the
right. Because
whole,
usually when we,
traditional
yeah,
one.
yeah, because when you try new cuisines, you usually just think of like the one or two really famous ones
Yeah.
associated with it. When there's like a whole bunch, like when people think of like Indian or Pakistani food, there's oftentimes they usually think like curry and butter chicken, pretty much.
Yeah.
But like
Those the
there's a lot more
There is.
to
We've got a
offer.
lot to offer, man. Nobody ever talks about bun kebab. There's basically like a burger, like a Pakistani or Indian style burger, and it's really good. I would definitely recommend you get some good desi food, and somewhere from Pakistan or India on your channel. It's some good stuff.
Amazing. Um, is there any like really good restaurant around in like the
Oof,
DFW area?
what's the?
Um,
Hmm.
I think Barbecue King is probably the best one. Right?
I would have to say that it's definitely one of the best. Yeah, Barbecue King is really good.
It's in
Barbecue
Garland,
King.
right? I think yeah, it's
Yeah.
in Garland.
So
Yeah,
I'm writing
BB,
this down.
awesome.
yeah, BBQ King.
Can't wait to see the
Yeah,
post.
But yeah, yeah, I definitely
yeah,
think that when people think of like a new cuisine, like when you think of Japanese food, you think of ramen and sushi. But
Yeah,
like there's so many
there's
much more
yeah,
to our
I imagine,
so
especially with
definitely when
Japan.
you
I mean, Japan's probably got a lot of like a lot of different foods, especially like
Mhm.
because I mean, it just like sounds like a place that would have so like the just Japanese culture. You've got so many different aspects to it. I can't imagine that their cuisine would be limited to only a couple of things. I, yeah, I never thought about food like that, where you have such a limited view of it when you've never actually like grown up eating it or been to the place. Um, so that yeah, I guess that's the advantage of traveling to those places.
I think like what really helps like just broaden your views and like which I guess about food or like any culture is like one you can actually have friend from that culture and like just talk to them or like go eat with them or you can also like read a lot of articles online that's
Yeah,
free or like watch YouTube. I watch a lot of like traveling YouTube, um, and that's how I got to know a lot of like different dishes
Hmm.
or and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just those I forgot what this one YouTube channel was that I found out about very recently, where this dude travels around and goes to eat a lot of different foods. I forgot what it was called, but those channels are just really interesting to watch because, and then you just really want to try the foods after that and travel to those places. I just remember seeing him go to like Brazil and even Pakistan. Like I had been to Pakistan, seeing it on his channel, I was like, I want to go again. And there's just so many different things that you could try in so many different places. I mean, the different ways that they make their food, that they cook their meat. It's all made so differently, and then it's also interesting to see the similarities between certain
Mhm.
places and how they make their food because you've got rice is a staple in pretty much everywhere in the world, right? But everybody
Mhm.
makes it differently. And so it's just interesting to see these things. And it's also interesting to go to these places and try them out, which is definitely something. Have you been to, so you mentioned that you traveled around in Asia. Have you been anywhere in like South America or Europe?
The closest to those places would be, I guess, Turkey, with
Okay.
that little like Europe part.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely Turkey is a really beautiful country, and I would
Yeah.
come back like anytime. But yeah, I would like to study abroad or
Yeah.
travel more when COVID is.
Yeah. I think everyone
But
wants to travel more after COVID.
Yeah, I
mhm,
think
but yeah,
all this being stuck in the house for so long, the airplane ticket prices are just gonna shoot up as soon as COVID is over.
Oh, yeah.
if you want to watch some from the top of my head, want to have like food recommendation or like just watch travel food blogger thing, then watch Top Jar. Their
Okay.
videos are amazing. Um, and that is, I guess, the direction I want to go up next, like YouTube or things like
That
that,
would be
because
cool.
it's easier, way easier to search, and like content is out there. It's like you can search it up anytime,
Yeah.
versus Instagram where you post it and then it's just like
Yeah,
gone after a while.
definitely. Yeah, that would be cool having a food YouTube to add to the food Instagram. Then you've got more options on, how you want to convey your content to people and show them. And now you have an excuse to travel as well. Would be
Yes.
really cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
traveling for food, it just sounds like such an awesome life to just go around and travel to different places and try different foods. That is the life.
I think
Well,
traveling in general is just in general just amazing, just because you get to see and experience so much.
Oh yeah.
And I think I mentioned this earlier, but I think it was Trevor Noah who said, "Traveling is the one thing you can never waste your money on."
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because like no matter what, like even if you like go on a road trip or take a flight and just backpack, you get to experience so much, and um, it really expands your horizons and your worldview when you get to see people living in completely different uh, cultures and circumstances too. Like you could be both be living in big cities, but your day is just completely different.
Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting to see. Like, I mean, you both have traveled more than I have. But when you see a different country and see that like other people don't live the same way as you, it's eye opening. And at the same, so you come back with a fresh perspective on the world and how you treat other people because you haven't even like you come back here and you start thinking like, well, I'm so lucky to like have the life that I have, or you start thinking that um, I mean, coming from Pakistan, that's the initial thought when you come back is that like I'm really lucky to have everything that I have over here, just generally traveling. But they're lucky over there to have the food that they have, so I guess it averages out in a way. But it's definitely nice to have a fresh perspective. I think it comes with traveling, and it comes with certain like if you've just read a book or seen a movie or just like finished a show, sometimes you just have these moments where you come back to whatever your normal life, like after a break. So like, have you ever had a winter break or a Thanksgiving break where after it you came back to school and you just things felt different? You either went somewhere and now you have a fresh perspective now that you've come back, and those are always the best trips to have, or even sometimes it's just a journey within yourself.
Definitely. And a lot of time I think we take things for granted, right?
Yeah.
Little things like even clean water,
Yeah.
have food on the table every meals, or like having all the choices to shop whenever we want, whatever we want.
Yeah.
Like things like that, little things like that. Just because a lot of time we don't think about it like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like we always just have it right there.
Yeah. Y-
And then when you travel, you see that, oh, that's not always the case.
yeah.
So I love traveling because of that. And also because coming back to food too, I guess, go to a different country and you see how, like, coming back to what you said too, like a different in being prepared in so many different ways.
Oh yeah.
Um, that is something that is really fascinating to me.
It is.
Um, mhm.
Despite like the
And
fact that these cultures came up differently and like came about differently, they all had like the same foods. They just found different ways to make them.
something that I really find interest in, you know,
Yeah, definitely.
just how when you eat a certain food, you can each food has a story behind it, you know,
Yeah.
what how they come up with it, how they prepare it, and everything like that. And that's what I want to use my channel for, like in the future, right? So right now it's still focused like locally on in the Dallas DFW area,
Hmm.
but in the future I would like to like more stories about how the food is prepared, like how they come about
Yeah.
the food, um, and like maybe have a YouTube channel where the viewer can experience a lot more than just
Yeah.
picture, you know.
Definitely. It'd be cool if
Yeah.
you like talked about the history of the food and like where it came from and why it's prepared the way it's prepared. That sounds so awesome and a very
Like
different
especially
concept.
because
Hmm.
yeah, because the same food is prepared. Like even if you just look at bread, like bread across the world is all just it's just so different in so many different
Oh yeah.
places. Like you have like in places like India and Pakistan, you have naan. In France, you have baguettes. Uh, just so many different, and even just the regular loaf of sliced bread that you get at the grocery store. You know, just looking at the bread aisle, if you just look at the bread
Yeah.
aisle, at the grocery store alone, you get to see like breads from like different cultures, and, like all these different ways. Even looking at like
Yeah.
tortillas and things like that. You know, it's like they're all just they're all just a carbohydrate that you would use to eat other things on or with, and every culture pretty much prepares it differently.
Yeah. I want to know who had the idea for hot dog buns. Like, uh, it's a weird concept to just. I don't know how do you come up with all of these? Baguettes were a dope idea though. I definitely think the French had it right when they thought of bread. That they got it right. And yeah, it's really interesting to see like there's like meat, even like beef is prepared so differently in so many different like places. It's mind boggling. It's crazy.
It's something that we don't really think about, you know? Like
Yeah.
we don't really think about how did this come up like that, or what spices we're using here and like what
Hmm.
the history of that. I think we can experience so much just by asking more question. Just be more mindful, kind of, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Well, now that we're kind of getting towards the end, we always like to ask our guests for advice. And one thing that I've definitely been inspired by today from you is that you've taken something that you love to do and turned it into your passion. And you even hope to one day make a YouTube channel out of it and have a lot of interesting ideas for that. And you've come so far already. In terms of advice that you have for anyone that's watching this that wants to follow an interesting passion, like having a food Instagram or building that, and maybe they didn't initially plan to do that. Maybe they had a bet with a friend like you did, and it just kind of happened, and everything is moving so fast. But like you are really enjoying what you're doing. For someone that has something that they really enjoy and want to follow, what advice do you have for someone to move forward with their passions and make something out of it that they really love?
I would definitely say like take one of step at the time, you know. Like a lot of time when we look at things we want to do, goals and everything like that, like we would look at really big account that
Yeah.
has so many great content already, so many things that they already are doing, you know.
Hmm.
And you would compare yourself like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm only here and they're like right there, you know. Um and I think that could be a good thing if you know how to go around it. That you can be like, that is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Um, like for my future content to be like, or that is my inspiration. Like, guess like a guided path. Then for you, you have to like take that and then have it with your own unique spin on it that become you. And also have like divide the task out to like smaller pieces.
Hmm.
Okay, today I'm gonna go do this, and tomorrow I'm gonna do that. Like work one step at a time to build up that dreams, rather than just that is where I want to be, and now like I don't know where to go. You know,
Yeah.
like have that path layout or like a routine or something like that, and that obviously come with more time you do it or like the more experience you have.
Hmm.
Um, so that definitely take times. In the beginning, it really in the beginning, I didn't really take this seriously at all. Like
Hmm.
I still now I'm still thinking of it more of like a hobby and fun things that I do.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess more seriously where I put a lot more time energy into my caption of photos and edits and
Yeah.
everything like that. Because I want to like give my audience the most that I could.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if they read my caption, um, this is what they might want to know. Also keep that in mind if you are starting something service based, having a
Mhm.
Foodstagram. Like, what do my audience want to know?
Yeah.
Rather than just, oh, I want to post this, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, you want to post that, but what can your audience take away from that too? Like, how does it benefit them? Um, and have little step at a time. And like, don't be too hard on yourself. Because for me, sometimes I would guess compare myself and my growth to other like people.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I'm growing so slow. But like in reality, you have to celebrate your own little wins too.
Yeah.
And that's what keep you going. It too.
Definitely. Well,
All
good
right. Well,
advice.
thank you so
And
much.
you have a great Instagram that we will link in the description for everyone to go check out. And maybe in the future, even a YouTube channel. Um, it was great having you on. And Omar, you can take us away.
Well, once again, everyone, thank you for listening. Definitely do check out her Instagram in the description. It's great. Especially if you're in the DFW area, you'll find all the best restaurants around with her foodie Instagram. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. And follow us at A Cup of Coffee Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Or email us at acupofcoffeepod@gmail.com. You can email us. On top of that, you can send us a tweet or DM us. We're always happy to answer any questions, or if you're interested in being on the podcast yourself. And as always, everyone, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next week. Cue outro.